I have to say I enjoyed watching last night's debate. I did not enjoy watching the first two. And I'm just going to give it to you honestly. I thought that the first two debates were a hot mess shit show in many ways. It was hard to follow. Yeah. The moderators didn't have control. There was too much talking over one another. The second debate wasted so much time. So did the first on nonsense questions with, teeing up rich men north of Richmond by the singer and like stuff about UFOs and who's the last person on the survivor island. It was like, would you ask relevant questions and just shrink, toss them the ball, let them be the stars, let them mix it up with each other, keep control so we can follow the arguments. But it was a frustration. Last night, they didn't do those things. So I liked that. All the questions were substantive and on point. And I thought NBC, surprisingly, but most likely because it was under fire, did a good job of not sounding like they were working for MSNBC that night. It was pretty much straight down the middle. However, here is a cardinal sin as a moderator. If I'm asking you two guys questions and you are the presidential candidates, and Emily, you say something and Michael disagrees with you and he jumps in like, no, actually, that's not what you said. I can say, stand by, I'll come to you next. But what happened last night was he would jump in and then he would stop and you would finish your point. And then they'd look at the third person over there and say, hey, you, Bob, here's a brand new topic. And there was fire waiting to be caught. There was lightning in a bottle sitting right there. If you would just go to Michael Moynihan, but they wouldn't. They'd go to some third party who wasn't involved in the skirmish on a totally different topic. And therefore, what was missing from last night's debate, for the most part, was debate. Debate. It was conducted much more like a long-form interview, which for me, as somebody who's moderated debates, was a frustration. I don't want to see an exchange between Kristen Welker and the candidates. I want to see them fight with each other. And by fight, I mean, spar. I want to see them point out each other's weaknesses and differences. So I walk away with, oh, I see. Yeah, they are different. That one, yeah, it's nuanced. I see what he's saying. And they'll go places the moderators won't go, which is interesting. So it was missing that. Anyway, overall, I give it the highest mark of the three so far, but there's still a ways to go. Emily, what'd you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think also what helped a lot, and I'd actually sort of forgotten about it because some of the candidates that weren't on the stage are so forgettable, but I do think NBC had this incredible benefit of only having 5 candidates to wrangle. That helped a lot. I'm trying to not give too much credit to NBC because I think they learned from the first 2 debates, and then they had this benefit of having only 5 candidates. I agree with you. They should have actually allowed some of the contrast to come out, and I actually think that's why when Vivek Ramaswamy, as I think grating as he was for the rest of the debate, looked right at Kristen Welker and kind of tore into NBC News at the beginning of the debate. I actually think that was one of the better moments, because what you're doing by allowing NBC to host these debates is rewarding them for years of bad coverage. You're putting your candidates in a risky situation where, for primary voters, for a Republican primary voter, these candidates should be taking very tough questions. There's no if and or but about that. They should be facing the toughest possible questions, but they should be questions that allow Republican voters to suss out the contrast from their point of interest. And Kristen Welker is not channeling the interests of the average Republican voter very well. And I think that's why this entire first hour dedicated to foreign policy, some of those questions were great. Do I think that matches the average voters? I mean, foreign policy right now is incredibly important. Again, no question about that. But I think that's disproportionate to the average Republican voters' concern. I don't think there was much contrast that was brought out about foreign policy in that first hour. I think it was long form interviews where they went on scripted sort of tangents about their own various degrees of experience on foreign policy. And if you had a better moderator, I was so glad to see the announcement this morning, Megyn. If you had a better moderator, that would have been much more productive.
Well, thank you for that. I will say I'm excited about the partnerships on this debate, and we've all been working on it together. But News Nation is this up and coming, new cable news channel that is trying to be in the middle. And it's an ambitious undertaking. It's very hard in today's news environment to do that, but they're trying. And so you've got them, they haven't planted a flag as righties or lefties. So it's interesting. And then you've got me and you've got Eliana. Both of us are in sort of outside, the sort of legacy media lane. And that's exciting to me too. Like when I left NBC, I did not anticipate I would be rejoining the ranks of presidential debate moderators, because historically these debates have always gone to Fox, CNN, NBC, ABC, and CBS, and that's it. So for me, I'm excited because I wanted to get back in there. And I know, to your point, I can ask these questions from the angle that is most interesting to the people who are going to make the decisions about these guys. I was saying the other day, I don't know that I'd be the perfect moderator for a Democratic primary, but I know I can do a great job on a Republican presidential debate. And you're right, the way in and out of the question is the big tell. So let's spend a minute on that Vivek answer, which was like right out of the gate, the first thing he said, because it was very interesting and it went viral. Nothing had really been asked. The moderators kind of opened it up with, why are you better than Trump, who's the front runner? And DeSantis is like, well, because I am. He got us into debt and he didn't build the wall. Okay. And then they're like, how about you, Mr. Ramaswamy? And bam, here it is, thought two.
Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. Since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, we've got Kristen Welker here, you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
So what did you like so much about that, Emily?
Well, I actually just like that if you're going to take the platform of NBC News, which I actually wish the candidates would have resisted it, you should use it as an opportunity to remind people about their failures. And it's just the big problem I have with NBC News is not that they lean left, it's that they're dishonest about it. And I actually think it's helpful to start a debate by attacking that pretense, because that pretense is the biggest problem in the world. And the other thing is, I actually would have focused on Lester Holt. And I think Lester Holt, I actually think Kristen Welker is one of the better so-called mainstream journalists, but Lester Holt is on the record saying basically fairness is overrated. He's one of the biggest, I think he's one of the biggest examples of how the media has reimagined its own duty to its audiences. And so I think that was actually kind of a missed opportunity, but I was glad that right out of the gate, we sort of had someone attack or shatter this illusion of neutrality, because that's one of the biggest problems in media. It's not that they aren't curious. It's not that they aren't, asking tough questions. It's that they're pretending that they aren't leftists doing all of that.
He actually did say the exact quote you just said. Little color from the Kelly Brunt household. Last night we were watching it, and my kids, who even when I was on NBC, didn't do a lot of watching of Lester Holt. So one of them said, his name is Molester? Who would name their child that? No.
It's short for that.
It's a very Brooklyn name these days. These wild names that we have in Brooklyn. Yeah.
I love little children humor because it's my own too. So I share the same sense. So Moynihan, how about you? Before I want to get to your top moment too, but what did you? Let's stay on the Vivek answer for a minute.
Yeah. An answer can have a lot of things in it that are true. And also be a bad answer. I thought it was a very bad answer. For a few reasons. Number one, you haven't allowed the debate to take place, and you're already impugning the moderators. I know they don't have the best history. Most people, as Emily said previously, want to know things about issues that are of concern to them. Replaying out of the gate, like the media thing. Look, he's doing the Trump cover band thing, right? At the beginning, he says, Rona, this is the problem. 2018, 2020, 2022, last night. Who's missing from that? Well, Donald Trump, I mean, obviously. And so Donald Trump is obviously a problem, and very, very bad cover bands of Donald Trump, bad MAGA candidates, which is what destroyed the Republicans in 2022, the Herschel Walkers of the world, the Mehmet Oz's of the world. And, we've seen this in the past with Sharon Angle back in 2012. And, I am not a witch, O'Donnell. But this kind of thing, when you come out of the gate and you say, oh, let's do the media thing, because you are not Donald Trump. You cannot do Donald Trump. Do you know that people have been saying for, 50 years, Brent Bozell's organization has been around for a very long time saying the media is liberal. People know the media is liberal. The way Donald Trump did that was a very, very particular thing that he did. He did it very well. And, I didn't love the tone always, but I've been in press pens when entire stadiums of people turn around and boo you. And I'm like, this is actually pretty entertaining and working. And then you leave the press pen and people are all nice to you. It's kind of, professional wrestling in a way. But Vivek is constantly trying to do the Donald Trump impression. And that was scripted. This was not a moment. And every person who knows anything about Republican politics remembers Ronald Reagan saying, I paid for this microphone. What an amazing moment. Now, in the social media age, you have Vivek and a team of people writing this stuff, the 3-inch heels comment to Nikki Haley. Whatever the question was going to be, he was going to land on NBC is bad. Yes, NBC has done absolutely ridiculous things, particularly on the Trump-Russia stuff, but you're just trying to get applause lines and you're trying to make a viral moment. I don't think that does anything for the average American voter.
This show is supported by Grand Canyon University. Founded in 1949, GCU is a private Christian university that's dedicated to delivering an affordable and transformative higher education. Their vibrant campus is located in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, and according to niche.com, ranked a top 25 best campus in the USA. As of June 2023, GCU offers 330 academic programs, with over 270 of them online, allowing you the freedom to earn your degree on your time from wherever you are. At GCU, your degree, whether it's a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, integrates the free market system and a welcoming Christian worldview. Learn more about GCU's programs, competitive tuition rates, and scholarship offers from your university counselor. They're part of the supportive graduation team who will take a personalized approach to helping you achieve your academic goals, walking alongside you every step of the way. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. It's private, it's Christian, it's affordable. For more info or to enroll, visit gcu.edu. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.